Good morning, children. How are you? I hope you all are fine and healthy at your homes. Today, we will start chapter number 6 from your book, Vihai, and your chapter name is My Childhood. In this chapter, we will study about the life structure, life cycle of the missile man of our India, APJ Abdul Kalam. So tell me, whose person is called the missile man of India? I told you the missile man of India is called to Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam was our former president of our India. Okay, have you ever heard the famous scientist named APJ Abdul Kalam? Yes, you know very well about this name APJ Abdul Kalam because he is a famous scientist and he is a famous and very dedicated person to the president of our India. Okay, tell me, the chapter is taken out from which autobiography of Kalam? This chapter is taken out from which autobiography of Kalam? Kalam has created so many missiles and so many things, and Kalam also likes to write his autobiography. Kalam likes to write anything, writes on his own life, on his own experience. So his autobiography is called Wings of Fire. From Wings of Fire autobiography, this chapter has been taken. My childhood. In this chapter, APJ Abdul Kalam's little childhood has been described. So to more understand, let's read this chapter. Okay, children, this is your chapter number 6, My Childhood, on APJ Abdul Kalam. Can you think of any scientists who have also been statesmen? APJ Abdul Kalam, whose project in space, defense and nuclear technology guided India into the 21st century, became our 11th Prime Minister in 2002. In his autobiography Wings of Fire, he speaks of his childhood. I was born into the middle-class Tamil family in the Iceland town of Rameswaram in the erstwhile Madras state. My father, Jainulabuddin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashiyamma. I don't recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. So in this paragraph, describe the parents of Abdul Kalam and where he was born. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished look, born to all and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameswaram. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicines or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. So in this paragraph, describe the children in his family and describe the building and house of the Abdul Kalam. So So the Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand of tamarind seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. My brother-in-law Janulabuddin would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in the form of the suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. The newspaper now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhansukodi. That forced my cousin Samusuddin, who distributed newspaper in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally I filled the slot. Samusuddin helped me earn my first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. In this paragraph, describe the Second World War and the first wages, how Abdul Kalam get his first wages, and he do some work to collect tamarind seeds and to distribute the newspaper from the moving train. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in certain ways by figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father and from my mother. I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my 3 brothers and sisters. I had 3 close friends in my childhood: Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakashan. All these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahman families. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshman Shastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. Later, he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Arvindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Shiv Prakashan became a catering contractor for the southern railways. So this is, in this paragraph, describe the childhood of the Abdul Kalam and the friends. What inherited qualities does he get from his parents, and who are the best friends, who are the friends of Abdul Kalam, and what was his father. Next, during the annual Shri Sita Ram Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boards with a simple platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Rama Tirtha, which was near our house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of Prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. In this paragraph, describe the ceremony, Sita Ram Kalyan ceremony, and how his family arranged the boards for carrying idols of the Lord. One day, when I was in 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest. Could not stomach means could not tolerate a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. In this chapter, describe the traditional or and orthodox condition of this area and his new teacher. Describe the behavior of his new teacher. He separate Abdul Kalam from his friend Ramananda Shastri. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshman Shastri summoned the teacher in our presence, told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the mind of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the Iceland. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshman Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. In this paragraph, describe the situation of when Abdul Kalam called his father, and Ramanand Shastri call his father, and Ramanand Shastri rebuke the new teacher for this behavior. Next, on the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Siva Subramaniam Iyer, through an orthodox Brahman with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are no par with the highly educated people of the big cities. In this paragraph, describe his science teacher Shiva Subramaniam Iyer. He is from an orthodox Brahman family, but he wants to break these social barriers for the people. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Siva Subramaniam Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me and from his own hands, and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Siva Subramaniam Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When I visited his house the next week, Shiva Subramaniam Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. In this paragraph, describe the conservative behavior of his science teacher's wife. But his science teacher wants to break this conservative rules, so he served from his own with his own hands to Abdul Kalam and eat his meal beside him. So after the next weekend, then next weekend he invite Abdul Kalam to the dinner, but at this time his wife, means his science teacher's wife, behavior has changed, and she took Abdul Kalam inside her kitchen and served the food with her own hands. Next one is, then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Next, in this paragraph about the finish of the Second World War and his wish to go to further studies in Ramanathapuram. He told me, as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So this is the paragraph. This is the chapter about the life cycle and the childhood of Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So have you understood? If you have any doubt, read this chapter once or twice thoroughly. This is a homework. Write a short paragraph on the life of APJ Abdul Kalam. You know very well about our former president, so write a short paragraph on the life of APJ Abdul Kalam. So have a nice day. Thank you very much.